Real Madrid's season has quietly tilted into a tension-filled chess game where minutes are the pieces and trust is the currency. Somewhere between training ground drills and matchday team sheets, a new pecking order is being written and not everyone is happy with the handwriting. When Jude Bellingham went under the knife for a shoulder procedure, it altered the balance of power just enough for a young Turk to step forward, and Arda has answered like a player who both belonged and had been waiting for his moment. The confidence he now plays with isn't accidental. It's the product of opportunity met by readiness, and every time he walks onto the pitch, that momentum nudges the coach's calculations in a different direction. Into that breach has walked Franco Mastantuono, a name that arrived with headlines and a fresh shirt number, someone whose emergence has stacked the attacking ranks and sharpened the competition. For a manager, having options is a blessing. For a player with diminishing minutes, it feels more like a verdict. Brahim, once a fan favourite and a player many expected to cement a role this season, has watched the minutes ebb. He trained with the same intensity. He waited through the early fixtures hoping for form and consistency to tilt decisions his way. Instead, he found himself sliding toward the periphery as the younger pair impress and as formation choices shift. It's easy to call it rotation on paper, the coach juggling personnel to suit tactics and opponents, but inside a changing room that explanation rings hollow when the intangible of trust seems to have shifted elsewhere. The result is a resentment that isn't loud in public, but is unmistakable in the rumour mill. Whispers about dissatisfaction, talks in inner circles, and names of interested clubs being passed quietly around agents. With the winter window on the horizon, those whispers acquire a deadline and an urgency. What might feel like a temporary benching in September can become a permanent move by January if the player and club cannot find the alignment they both need. From a sporting point of view, the calculus is brutal but simple. Real minutes build form and value, and players who stagnate lose both. From a human point of view, this is Brahim's crossroads, a player who returned hoping to be part of a project, now considering whether loyalty and patience still serve his career. And it's not just adjectives, it's concrete interest. Reports linking suitors and the presence of deep-pocketed teams who could offer immediate playing time or financial incentives turn a dressing room problem into a market story overnight. For Xabi Alonso, the manager who prizes structure and balance, the choice is not purely mercenary. Picking the right attacking mix affects pressing shapes, defensive cover, and the long arc of the season. Yet the reality of two hungry young talents rising at the same moment means someone must carry the disappointment. The locker room mood matters. A squad fractured by perceived favouritism can underperform collectively even while individual stars shine. That is the real risk here, a short-term tactical gain turning into a long-term cost if the club fails to manage expectations and restore a sense of fairness. So what happens next? If Brahim decides to seek a January transfer, Real Madrid will test the market and weigh whether keeping him on the roster. A player with quality but limited minutes is better than allowing him to find a stage where he can play every week. If he stays, the season becomes an exercise in management psychology, finding ways to keep his motivation high and contributions meaningful without damaging the confidence of those he competes with. For the fans, the drama is both spectacle and worry. Can Madrid harness the abundance of attacking talent into sustained performance, or will the talent bottleneck create casualties that might have been avoided with a clearer rotation plan? The coming weeks will tell whether this story is a short storm, a phase where minutes redistribute as injuries heal and form fluctuates, or the beginning of a more permanent realignment that sees Brahim looking elsewhere for salvation. Either way, what unfolds will shape not only one player's career, but also the cohesion of a squad chasing titles where reselection matters. The January clock is ticking. In football, patience is finite and opportunities are fleeting. And for Real Madrid, the balance between nurturing youth and honouring grown talent has never felt more delicate.